Welcome back to the Voice of Students, powered by Easy Jobs.
Local part-time seasonal jobs.
While many animals are being cared for and conserved, there is still a large majority who do not have our support. One animal lacking external help are the red-footed tortoises, and due to the lack of help, these tortoises are being ripped away from their natural habitats. So, Tina, can you please explain why this is happening and why there is a lack of research?
So this is Boots.
Boots.
And Boots is the red-footed tortoise, very smooth. He's a baby, so he's gonna get a lot bigger actually. Full grown, he'll be almost as big as this table, so they get pretty big. They're about a medium-sized tortoise. They're naturally found in South America. And one of the reasons why they're being affected in South America is because of the pet trade. So a lot of people think, oh my gosh, this animal makes such a good pet. They're not doing research on where these animals are coming from, and they're coming illegally from the rainforest. That is a big problem with these guys because they're such a common pet. Also a big problem with them is that they're being hunted for meat as well. So those are the two big problems affecting these guys. There isn't a lot of research being done on them just because they're not as popular for conservation. When you think of conservation, most of the time people are focusing on, it's called charismatic megafauna, which is the ones that everybody loves, like the pandas or the elephants, the tigers. And that's where most of conservation money is being put towards, those big popular animals. Red-footed tortoise just doesn't get as much attention as those big ones. So it's very important to know how you can affect these animals on an individual level. So being aware of pets.
How are they different from turtles?
Totally different than turtles. These guys are tortoises, so they cannot swim. If you put Boots in the water, he'll sink like a rock. He can't swim.
Okay. So
They live on land. So turtles, they live in the water. They swim around. So they are completely different, and their shells are different as well. If you look at a shell, it's more of like a dome, so it's a little higher up, and it's a little tougher and heavier than a turtle. Yeah. You might want to feed him on the table. I don't think he might eat in the air. I don't know. You can try. He loves
can
peppers.
they are basically pets?
They can be pets. Oh, he was going to eat it.
Yes.
He'll eat it. He's good.
No way.
So Boots is very friendly, as you can see.
He just took a bite.
Yeah.
Does he have teeth?
They don't have teeth. They have a beak just like a bird. So they don't have any teeth. Just powerful jaws. And you can see his tongue
So
too.
cute.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And he loves his peppers. Those are his favorite. So I knew he would eat for those.
So what all does he eat?
They are omnivorous.
Oh,
so he'll eat kind of
himself.
both. He'll eat a little bit of both. He'll eat veggies and fruits and a lot of collard greens as well. But they will also eat meat.
What kind of fruits they eat?
They'll eat a lot of grapes or tropical fruits like papayas, stuff like that. But, when you have one as a pet, it's kind of hard to get those tropical fruits all the time. So he loves peppers and grapes and apples. He loves apples. But the collard greens are really important for them. That's where they get a lot of their nutrition. So that's very
What's
important.
their lifespan?
They can live as long as 50 years.
Wow.
So they do have a pretty long lifespan. If you think of that as a pet, think of where you're going to be in 50 years. That's a long time to have an animal. So that's why it's important, again, to do research on these guys to make sure you're prepared to take care of them for that long.
Boots is
You could try
how
feeding him
old?
this. Boots, he's about 6. He was actually bred at the wildlife center that I work at.
Okay.
So he was bred there. So they had him from when he was a baby that big.
Just this much?
Yeah, small little baby. So he's going to get bigger. He's going to keep growing. And the boys get bigger than the females.
And he's a male or a female?
He's a male. And you're able to tell because his belly's concave. And that's just
That is-
for mating, yeah. So the boys have a concave belly, the girls have a flat belly. He's like, I want the peppers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he may not eat the collard greens. He's picky with his veggies.
He's picky.
Yeah, he loves the fruits and veggies, the juicy ones.
How do they go to the bathroom? Like,
They have a cloaca, just like any other reptile. So it's just like one hole, and they pee and poop out of the same thing. So just like birds.
okay.
And how many times a day he eats?
They actually, it's the same thing where with the snake, how he said how since they're cold-blooded, they don't eat that much. I feed Boots every 2 or 3 days. They don't need to eat every day. Boots would eat every day because he loves food. But, just to make sure they stay healthy, it is better to give them a little break in their food.
Okay. And do they drink water?
They do. He does drink water, but I give him a bath every day because rainforest animals, they live in very tropical tropical ecosystems. So he goes in the shower every day, gets a nice warm, warm tropical breeze. You can try giving him that. He may or may not eat it. The leafy part.
He doesn't like it.
He wants more peppers.
Oh,
You can hear the noises he's making. These guys actually communicate with other tortoises by clucking. So kind of like a chicken. So sometimes you can hear him.
He really doesn't want this.
No, I know. He's very spoiled. Maybe this one.
Let's try these greens. No.
Come on, Boots. Looks yummy.
Maybe put them on this deck.
Yeah, maybe. Look, Boots, look at all the green.
Are they as friendly with other reptiles?
Yeah, they're kind of indifferent. They don't really mind other tortoises or turtles. They kind of just, again, with the independence thing, they kind of just do their own thing. But I've never seen them be aggressive or anything towards other animals. Tortoises are usually pretty chill.
What's their mating process?
They actually don't mate until they're about 8 to 10 years old. So that's why it's so important to keep them in their environment for so long, because it takes them so long before they can even attempt to mate. So once they attempt to mate, it's, they'll usually be around each other for a couple weeks. But after that, they're again back on their own, doing their own thing.
Do they stay with the babies?
No, they don't. A lot of reptiles don't really make the best mothers. They kind of just lay their eggs and move on. So these guys do the same thing.
So how many eggs do they?
Watch your fingers. You might think they're food.
So how many eggs usually?
It's dependent on the mother again. Sometimes they can have 10, but usually no more than 20. It's like around where they would have them. Very interesting animals. And their shell is made out of keratin. So just like your hair and your fingernails, so it's made out of the same stuff as your fingernails. So he doesn't shed his shell like hermit crabs. They never move out of their shell. He will grow with this shell for his entire life, just like babies with their fingernails. And that keratin is made out of the same stuff as rhino horns, elephant tusks. It's all the same stuff.
So you mentioned that there aren't that many conservation efforts right now. So what is currently being done?
Currently what's being done has been a lot of legislation changing of the pet trade. So it's not individual to them, but it does include them because they are involved in the pet trade because they're a popular pet. So a lot of legislation is cracking down on the illegal pet trade. So that does involve him. So that is important to him. But other than that, there isn't really too much. But another huge thing you can do to affect these animals, since they live in the rainforest, something as simple as recycling can really affect them, because the minerals that make up aluminum cans is mined from the rainforest. So if you recycle, we can reuse what's already been taken, and we don't have to go back and knock down all those trees and mine for that, and that affects their environment where they live. I can't believe you're not going to eat your greens.
Thank you so much, Tina, and our extra special guest for being here today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
That brings us to the end of our segment. Thank you so much, Tina, and our extra special guest for being here today.
We'll be back next week with another great episode of The Voice of Students, powered by Easy Jobs, local part-time seasonal jobs. Voice of Students, powered by Easy Jobs, local part-time seasonal jobs.